in jail on false DUI charges. Another story from Sooner Politics. Once again, if you're just tuning in, I'm Tom McKay, your amazing host, David Oldham, right here at 3D Politics Live every Monday at 7. Be sure and tune in. Tell us about this thing. Officer Buddy Sanders took in Mr. Hoppner, and he was complaining of sickness and suffered death in the hands of the officers.
Atoka County Sheriff.
Well, no,
Yes.
this was Kushka community just 20 miles
Tushka.
away that arrested him, but took him to the Atoka County.
Right, so it's Tushka, Oklahoma.
Yeah. But here's the thing, and I've talked with Stanley Glantz and Vic Regalado about this. When the sheriff gets someone who's detained from a municipal police, the sheriff has no say over whether or not he gets to release that person. Now the sheriff, once you're in, you're their responsibility as far as their health. In fact, Oldham, you and I were talking about a Supreme Court case on 8th Amendment protections against cruel and unusual punishment.
Right.
And they go so far, the Supreme Court says, it was John Marshall, I think, who our Thurgood Marshall had said, Thurgood Marshall had said, that to withhold needed medical care is a form of cruel and unusual punishment.
Correct. And it is. In this particular case, it looks like ineptness.
Yeah, why don't you tell the story? What happened
Well,
here?
basically, he is driving down the road and gets pulled over, and he is not quite right in the head. It appears that he is dizzy. He stumbles as he gets out of the police cruiser at the hospital, where he has been taken for a blood draw so that they can get his blood and test for alcohol, which came back negative.
Yes.
But
Came back negative when?
I
Before or after?
I don't know how quickly.
Yeah.
Probably after it was too late.
Yeah, an autopsy confirmed he had no impairing substance in his body except the deadly flu virus,
But he
which
told,
was left untreated.
He told the officer right after he stumbled, he said, I had leukemia and I'm really sick right now.
Right.
And the cop ignores that, goes inside. Now, they did not get him a doctor's examination. The cop goes in, says, need a blood draw. So all he got to see, from my understanding, is a lab tech, and then off to the jail. And at the jail, they did their cursory, entrance exam, except they didn't take his temperature.
Yeah, I mean, I think this story deserves looking into, and thankfully the Frontier is doing the yeoman's work on this.
Yeah,
and they are the ones that found it and exposed it. But the problem is that this man was arrested. I mean, I'm assuming he was weaving down the road or doing something.
The 911 call was from people saying, "Hey, this guy's weaving."
Okay.
Yeah, and so by the time they intercepted him, he was down in Kushka, down the road from Atoka.
And so the problem here is the assumption.
Yes.
I've weaved down the road. I was just exhausted and I shouldn't have been driving.
Sure.
So turned the car over to my wife, and we were back on the road. But the point is that I got pulled over in the meantime.
And this goes to the deal about training. Sometimes a cop can get overtrained in one scenario to where they just automatically just go to that. Oh, he's weaving. He's got to be drunk. In fact, they asked him again, hey, if you hadn't taken anything, then why are you staggering?
I mean, I hate to really reach too far, but this is an argument against the fears of AI. It's supposedly the human that can notice these things where, hey, this guy's weaving because he's sick, not drunk. But we might as well have RoboCop. They're going to tell the difference anyway.
Yeah.
Well, you got to remember, AI is programmed by humans. So if we are not looking at everything correctly, and if our law enforcement officers are there to enforce, and they're not there to be peace officers and make sure that people are safe and look out for everybody's interests, including people they pull over.
Yes.
I mean, in this case, it looked like from the video that about the only thing on Officer Buddy's mind was getting this guy arrested and figuring out that he had alcohol in him so he could make his bust.
Yeah.
That's what it appeared to me, because I didn't hear anything or any concern when he said, I had a leukemia,
The cops, they hear every story all the time.
That's
Because
a
the
good
guy
point.
could say anything, and the cop is not going to, oh, really? Oh, you have a special situation?
Well,
those guys are processing morons all night long.
Understood, but that doesn't change their responsibility.
Their responsibility is to be able to notice this guy. I mean, they say they can smell the alcohol. So apparently this guy didn't have any alcohol.
No, he didn't.
So they should have been able to know, hey, he's weaving for some other reason.
Well, here's the deal. Buddy Sanders is not a medical professional. The problem is the jail didn't even have any medical professionals on staff. They leave it to non-professionals to diagnose the need for professional diagnosis.
Right. Oh, and you got to think, this is Atoka.
Yeah.
This is a tiny little county.
Yeah.
Probably got one of the smaller
and
jails.
Mr. Hutner shouldn't have been driving. He
Oh
was
yeah,
really,
well, and
he was
he's
really too ill to
It's
be
worse
traveling.
than that, because he's semi-conscious and actually somewhat loses consciousness at times. They're still saying it was up to him to tell us all of the ailments he's dealing with.
Well, he
Like
traveled to a country that has fungal infections and stuff like that.
Well, now he was traveling from Wisconsin to Texas.
That has a
okay?
fungal infection.
Yeah, so, but here's the thing, Buddy Sanders, yeah, your oath is to serve and protect. You have to understand the wayfarer coming through your community. You have a duty to protect him, not just the folks who cut your check.
Well, and it's really important because Hepner should not have been driving.
That's
I mean,
true.
he should
He
not have been
put
driving.
himself and everybody else in danger.
But here's the thing: what he did not deserve death.
That's true.
And that is the Eighth Amendment, the cruel and
We don't
unusual
know that
punishment.
he wouldn't have died driving down the road if he would have been pulled over.
We don't, but the point is, as soon as he is taken into custody,
Then they
he
own it.
loses.
That's
they
correct.
own it.
Now
yes.
they own it.
And
That's
so
correct.
the point
Here's the
is
thing.
that he's
Yeah.
no longer able to care for himself.
Now
He-
they own it.
Now they own it.
Now
yes.
they own it.
He could not go to a Walgreens and say, hey, pharmacist, I'm dealing with this and this, and they give advice. It's all up to him until they take him in custody. Then it's up to them. And I want to say this, it extended, as somebody who advocates for the mentally ill, to assume that somebody who's mentally ill is responsible for you to tell everybody else his diagnosis,
Right.
that's asinine.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And
Well, also, it is against his Fifth Amendment rights to remain silent. The point
You get
is
to hold him.
the point is that but your
That's
Fourth
right,
Amendment
yeah.
your Fourth
Yeah.
Amendment protection
I don't have
to
to say,
be securing your person
Okay.
still remains.
Okay, so David, did they have any evidence on him other than just eyewitness of his driving? I don't think so.
I don't believe so. Maybe the police officer witnessed something, but again, it was just the erratic driving. That was it. Nothing
And
else.
that might have just been hearsay from a 911 call too. I don't know that he saw. Now he saw the man out of the car staggering. So yes, you can make a police powers decision that, buddy, I don't want you driving right now.
Right.
Let's get you somewhere. Whether you need a hotel or whether you need to
Let's
check
get you a
into
drink.
go to a clinic or something, we got to get you some help.
Right.
And really, now here's the other thing. I did a little research in social media. This Buddy Sanders, Charles Sanders, if I understand right, is the assistant police chief of Cuska. There might only be 2 officers there, And he says in his Facebook that he worked past tense for Kushka Police. So
Yes, he's no longer with them.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to do a little more research and find out. In fact, if our viewers can find out for us where he might be.
The last thing I want to say on this, because I've talked to police officers who've been through this, even if there's nothing else they could do, it grieves every decent human being
Nobody
puts
likes
on a
that,
badge.
of course.
It's
Yeah.
hell on earth, and
Nobody
they have
likes
to live
that.
with
It
it the
doesn't
rest
feel
of their
good.
life.
That's right.
No, and I just want to say this because, cops don't always do it perfectly. And it eats them like you wouldn't believe. I talk to them. Okay,
So-
we try to help get them therapists so they can, work their way through this so that maybe they can resume their careers. It's that difficult for a law enforcement officer.
Hat tip, though, to Frontier News. They got an
Yes.
entire series, 17 known jailhouse deaths in Oklahoma this year. 6 of the 17 deaths occurred in Oklahoma County, Metro OKC, Tulsa County. No reported jailhouse house deaths. So,
Right. And
hat tip to Frontier News.
now, Oklahoma County jail system, the deadliest jail in America for most of the last decade. So, and I don't know what their current status is, but it's a horrible, horrible jail system. I'm hoping we can help clean it up.
I
With
think
my
the
friends in
numbers.
Melbourne.
I think the numbers over 10 years was 222 deaths in jails throughout Oklahoma, which is 22 a year. That's just too many.
See, and this was 17 in 9 months, so you figure there's going to be another 5 if they keep up this average. So that exceeds 20 again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.